From KC born and bred ownership comes the most affordable and highest quality in Chiefs merchandise. For Chiefs fans, by Chiefs fans. Whether it's officially licensed items or unique custom conversation pieces, no matter the size, from grandbaby to grandparent, Noble Apparel has something for everyone. Best prices, best quality, Noble Apparel. Now with 5 convenient Kansas City locations. Off North Oak, Vivian, Holmes, Westport, and 68th Street. The ultimate fan experience awaits at Noble Apparel.
Snap to Mahomes at his belt, sidestepping, fires for the end zone. The pass is going to be caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes.
I thought he was just jumping in the stands and he grabbed the camera. I was like, what in the world?
Firing down the seam, Tyreek Hill. 10-5, touchdown, Kansas City.
Set the tempo early, baby. Set the tempo early, baby.
You are now listening to the official PM15 podcast, presented by GASN Sports. Dedicated to NFL MVP Patrick Mahomes as he establishes his legacy and continues on his journey to bring a Super Bowl to Chiefs Kingdom. Featuring weekly guests, expert analysis, and fan interaction. Now, please welcome your hosts, Clint Switzer and Noah Gronniger.
Welcome into the official PM15 podcast. I'm Noah Gronniger alongside Clint Switzer. And Clint, it's Raider Week. And this is a big one. The winner will be first place in the AFC West. So it really comes down to this game and kind of moving forward. The Raiders do have an easy schedule, but the Chiefs, they've got the Patriots. So the Chiefs really have to get this win. And there's nothing better than Raider Week.
Yes, the autumn wind is indeed a Raider, pillaging just for fun. We really thought the rivalry may be back and have some significance this season. Unfortunately, the Raiders went to New York and lost 34-3 to the Jets, which kind of diminishes a lot of hope that anyone had for the Raiders coming in and making this a game. Let's just look at the Raiders' losses. They have 5 of them, and in each of them, they've given up 300 or more yards passing. That sounds like a recipe for the Chiefs just to go hog wild in this game with Patrick Mahomes back healthy, with his weapons healthy, Tyreek Hill back, Eric Fisher back, the offensive line is back. You know what? This looks like a recipe for one of those double-digit Chiefs beatdowns of the Raiders. And Noah, let me just take you through something. And I might shock you with some of these numbers. I might shock some of our audience members. But if ever there was a rivalry that was more dominant in the world of sports, I don't know what it is. Because if we go back to the 1990s, Noah, and these numbers are for real, in the Marty Schottenheimer era in Kansas City in the decade of the 90s, the Chiefs were 18-3 against the Oakland Raiders. It's unbelievable. In the 2000s, Noah, the Chiefs really didn't have a lot of good seasons in the 2000s. You think 03 being 13-3 and the 2 seed in the AFC playoffs. And other than that, you have a couple of 2-14 seasons in there, some 7-9, some not so good seasons. The Chiefs were still 12-8 against the Raiders in the 2000s. Under Andy Reid, Noah, since 2013, Andy Reid himself 11-2 against the Raiders. This is as dominant as you could ever get in the world of sports as far as a rivalry goes. The Chiefs own this rivalry. They have for 30 years now, and Sunday should be no different. When the Raiders come in with Derek Carr and the lack of confidence that he played with last week, the idea that Josh Jacobs could never get going against a very good run defense for the Jets, coming into Arrowhead with the Chiefs having to win this to keep things rolling, to keep in first place all by themselves, this has the recipe of a epic Chiefs-Raiders beatdown at Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday, and that's what I'm predicting.
Well, if my math doesn't fail me, I believe those numbers you gave me is from 1989 to present. The Chiefs are 41-13, so I'm just going to trust my math skills. My teachers growing up through elementary school, middle school, high school, I'd say college, but that was college algebra, and I got a D in it, so that doesn't have anything to do with my addition. But yeah, this is a big one. Chiefs 41-13, if my math is correct, and coming into this, I was a little weary before that Jets game. I was like, I don't know, like the Chiefs aren't playing well. Everyone's talking up the Raiders, how John Gruden's kind of resurrected Derek Carr and he's playing well. And Josh Jacobs is a great rookie running back. And that draft class that everyone was making fun of after draft night is really hitting for Mike Mayock and the Raiders. But after that last game against the New York Jets, there is no way that the Chiefs can A, lose this game, or B, this be a close game. If they have any hopes of either A, making the playoffs or getting to a Super Bowl, which was the ultimate goal at the beginning of the year, as we heard Clark Hunt in the franchise documentary that the Chiefs have say, Super Bowl or bust. If this is Super Bowl and bust, you come out and beat the Raiders by at least double whatever the Raiders get. If they get 17, Chiefs need to have 34. They need to put their foot down, put their foot on the throats of the necks of the Raiders and say, no more. This is it. We're showing who we are and that we are a Super Bowl caliber team, and we're taking off, and we're leaving you, the Raiders, in the dust. You're not there yet, and we are letting the NFL know, we're putting them on notice, because everyone wants to say the Ravens are putting the NFL on notice. Lamar Jackson's the MVP. He's better than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick who? No, it's all about Lamar Jackson. No, the Chiefs need to put their foot down and say, we're the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to the Super Bowl. We have the MVP, and we are going to take a stranglehold over the AFC and the NFL. And this needs to be a statement game, and that's what I'm looking for this Sunday.
Well, you talked about that. You talked about what the Ravens have done and sort of how they've looked. And you know what? It reminds me a lot of last season when the Chiefs were blowing people out game after game and putting up insane numbers. And that it shows, too, how quickly that can dissipate and how quickly that you can become a pedestrian football team, which the Chiefs have at times looked like this season. We haven't seen a lot of the games last year that we saw early on against the likes of the Chargers, the Bengals that came in here and just the Chiefs rolled them. The Chiefs haven't really have exerted themselves since that Denver game. They've got some big wins in that time, but this here is time for the Chiefs to really take control of this thing. They've got to go to New England after this before finishing up with 3 very winnable games. So 11-5, very much out there for this team, but a win on Sunday it's going to have to be. And for this team to get back, like you said, to those expectations, it starts Sunday. It started last Sunday, Monday night, I guess, in Mexico City with the Chargers, and that was not exactly a game that you want to look at and say this is how the Chiefs are playing right now, and look how high flying it is. No, it wasn't. But it was a win, and you were able to knock off another division rivalry, another division rival, and so here you go again, and it's the Raiders, and it's a team that you own. You can't lose this, and I think that if the Chiefs win this and decisively, you can maybe start talking about them, because I'm not a believer in the Texans or Colts, even though both of those teams beat the Chiefs. No one's talking about the fact that the Chiefs beat the Ravens in week 3. And
yeah, Lamar Jackson has 3 losses since he's taken over as starter, and 2 of them are to the Chiefs. Like, everyone's, how do you stop it? How do you do it? You got to have a great defense. Like, Chiefs don't have a great defense. They have a high-flying offense, and they've handled the Ravens twice.
They have, and that's something that the Chiefs can hang their hat on. I want to ask you, we talked about before the season about Patrick Mahomes and what the stats would be and what would satisfy the national sports media, what would satisfy the fans when you think about coming off of a 5,000-yard, 50-touchdown season. Right now, Patrick Mahomes sits at 2,800 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, and he's missed 2.5 games. Those numbers dwarf that of Raiders quarterback Carr, who is only has 2,615. It shows you the power of Mahomes. He's still on pace to maybe get to 4,000 and up to into the 30s in touchdown passes. Is this, given the injuries, given what's happened, given the fact that the offense just isn't as high functioning as it was a year ago, is this still good for Patrick Mahomes and good for the stats?
I think so. I mean, you talked about, I'm glad you mentioned the injuries and just everything that's gone on. Of course, last year, the Chiefs went into November with Kareem Hunt as their running back, and so that really helped. You can split him out wide, put him in the slot, motion him back in at running back. He did a lot and covered up for the running game that is really struggling this year. It's pretty much non-existent. Whenever we do seem to get a good run, there's a fumble that follows that, and then the guy's benched for a while, whether it's Damian Williams and LaShawn McCoy. Both have had their issues with fumbling, and we really miss Kareem Hunt. We miss that stud running back there that gave this offense, it took it to another level and gave it another weapon. We had a run game, so if the passing game wasn't working, just defensive coordinators didn't know what to do. Do we defend the run? Do we defend the pass? Do we play man? Do we play zone? Do we load the box? Do we drop 8? What do we do? And now it's just we're playing the passing game. We know they're not going to run the football. And, yeah, we've had injuries along the offensive line. Tyreek Hill's been out. Mahomes has been injured, whether it's the ankle, the knee, and he's still not 100%. He's not going to be until next season. So he's still plenty good enough at 80%, 90%, whatever he's at right now, to get it done and to lead this team to a Super Bowl. We've had a lot of drops, whether it be Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill's had a few, Travis Kelce's had the drops this season. So it just hasn't been the offense that we were promised, that everyone talked about heading into the season. I know up in training camp they were talking, can we score every possession? And that certainly hasn't been the case. And we were sold a bill of goods on this defense. It's been revamped. We've got a new defensive coordinator. We got a new scheme, an entire new coaching staff behind Steve Spagnuolo, the position coaches, new players, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu. It just hasn't been what we were promised. It is getting a little bit better as we go here and get healthier. Frank Clark says he's healthy now. Chris Jones is healthy. Kendall Fuller's coming back. So I think we can get back on track. Mahomes is good enough. The stats aren't where they were last year, but with the injuries along all the offense, including Patrick Mahomes himself, I think it is a very great performance and a good sign heading forward that we can get back to being an explosive offense and get where we want to be, which is the Super Bowl.
Well, Noah, I know there are a lot of people out there like us that like to have more than just a rooting interest in some of these games. So attention, past, present, and future MyBookie players. During Thanksgiving week, MyBookie is offering a risk-free bet on the Bears-Lions game. Simply choose a team against the spread for up to $250. If you win, congratulations, you've got extra holiday spending money. If you lose, congratulations to you as well. MyBookie will give you all your money back. It's a no-brainer because, folks, you literally cannot lose. It's no risk, all gravy. It doesn't matter whether you're an experienced player or a first-time customer, MyBookie welcomes all to come play, so quit waiting around and sign up today. Do you find yourself wanting to sports bet but have lots of questions? Don't sweat it. MyBookie's patient customer service team can walk you through the process. And the best part is, if you join this Thanksgiving week, you'll still have one last shot to take advantage of their incredible sign-up offer. Just log on to mybookie.ag and make your first deposit with promo code SATURDAY. And MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar to jumpstart your bankroll. And that's on top of the risk-free bet. Let me repeat, that's guaranteed deposit match and a risk-free bet for Thanksgiving only. So if you're a true football fan, you do not want to let this opportunity pass you by. You simply can't lose. Make sure you do your part to support your team this season. Hop on the gravy train and get in on the action with MyBookie. You play, you win, you get paid. So go to mybookie.ag, use promo code SATURDAY to win today. Well, we know it's a good sign when our good friend and agent of Patrick Mahomes, Lee Steinberg, is going to be in town for this Raiders game. All bets are off. Lee's the man. He's the inspiration for Jerry Maguire. We've had him on this show ample times. It's going to be good to welcome him. Hopefully the weather holds up for him. I mean, he's a Southern California guy. You don't want someone like that walking in here and experiencing gusts of wind, 20 miles an hour, and snow. Whatever.
Cold and windy, baby.
Right. So hopefully he's got somewhere warm to get. It's going to be great to welcome him here. And it should be a great atmosphere at Arrowhead Stadium. And the rest of the way, when you think about the Chiefs playing at Patriots, you got home to Broncos, at Bears, home to Chargers. What's the Chiefs' record? Where do they wind up, and what's the seed? What's it going to be?
I think we're looking at 11-5, and I think it's going to be the 3 seed. I think the Patriots get the 1, the Ravens get the 2, Chiefs 3. Looks like the Texans are going to be the 4 seed, and 5 and 6. It's going to be a dogfight with the Colts. Can they keep it afloat? They do have an easy schedule going down the stretch. You've got the Buffalo Bills right there. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be in it. So it's going to be between Colts, Steelers, Titans, teams like that that are fighting for that last spot. And who knows, maybe the Raiders. But we're looking to take care of business, especially with a bye week. Andy Reid's good with the bye week. The Raiders coming off that horrendous loss against the Jets. It's at home in Arrowhead Stadium, so I don't give the Raiders a lot of chance, and their playoff hopes could be done after this Sunday.
Well, we talked earlier in the week about how, looking at the landscape of the NFL, looking how the season has played out, wouldn't this have been just a great season for the Chiefs to have just had it all come together and for them to have been healthy and for them to have blown the doors off and for them to have lived up to the hype and the expectations? Because this looks like a year where, you got the Patriots who are 10-1, and yet their offense can't get going. They've had finger pointing all year, and Tom Brady tried to answer to why the offense isn't working there. Their defense is, of course, incredible, and which is why they're 10-1 along with the schedule. But looking around, it's like, wow, the Chiefs would have really done well just to have been similar to last year and just taking care of business and won these games have been impressive. Because looking around, look at the Rams. The Rams that were in the Super Bowl last year, since that day, have just been poop. I mean, the Rams are trending way downward. A lot of teams that we thought were going to be up there are just leveling out, and the Chiefs, unfortunately, have not been able to rise up and kind of be that Ravens team this year. Now, there's still a lot of time. They've beaten the Ravens. There's a lot of football to be played. But isn't it kind of unfortunate just the way that it's played out right now that there doesn't seem to be a lot of teams that are just completely dominant? And here the Chiefs could have been that team.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned the teams that aren't. You mentioned the Rams right there, and Todd Gurley with the arthritis in his knees. So the running game hasn't been there, and that's really what made Jared Goff Jared Goff. He doesn't have the strong run game, play action, find people open that he needs. That's what Lamar Jackson does and has. And people are saying what a great passer Lamar Jackson is. It's because he has that strong run game, and he's part of that run game with his legs, very athletic, like a Michael Vick. And so everyone bites up on the play action, and he's got it wide open downfield. Someone's going to be open when the linebackers bite up. And that's what the Rams had last year. They don't have it this year. And so you see that offense really struggling, and the defense just can't find their way. They struggle with the run. If they can get a lead, which is what they did last year, let Aaron Donald and those pass rushers get to work and rely on their good players in the secondary. That's what led to that amazing season, and none of that is there for them this year. And so, yeah, if the Chiefs were playing like they were last year, they would be the favorites for the Super Bowl, no doubt. I mean, the Patriots struggling. You've got the Ravens there, but the Chiefs have already beat them. There's really no other real strong teams in the NFL. I mean, I've got questions about the 49ers. I'm not a believer. They can feel free to prove me wrong going down the stretch with their defense and that run game and what Kyle Shanahan can do on the offense. I'm not discounting them and saying they're complete and total fraud. But as far as a Super Bowl contender and a strong one, I'm not a big believer in them. I trust the Seattle Seahawks, although they've had a few slip-ups. I trust Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll to get it done. I trust Sean Payton and Drew Brees, although they recently lost to the Falcons. So the NFL is kind of a mess this year. There is a lot of parity. But if the Chiefs were what they were last year, and if they could get back there this year, going down the stretch, they could be the Super Bowl favorites again. And that's what we're looking for with this Raiders game and why we say they need to blow this team out and get back on track to where they were last year.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I hope that everybody is out there is having a tremendous Thanksgiving holiday and weekend and all that comes with it, because you heard it, of course, MyBookie is our podcast sponsor this week. And we know that everybody's got to place that risk-free bet on the Bears or Lions. You know what? This one's easy. You're going to win no matter what. So go sign up, use our promo code Saturday and get that one. And you know what? While you're there, just check out some of the other games. Noah and I, we like to, like we said in the commercial, have rooting interest in some of these games. And there's a lot to look for, not only in the NFL, but in college as well, because this is a great weekend in sports. You've got college basketball ramped up. You got the big end of the college football season in the NFL. Man, this is some big time games, teams looking to exert themselves and get that playoff seeding and look for home field advantage and things like that. So a lot going on. Use our resource. Use mybookie.ag to put your knowledge to work, because that's the way to do it. You talk about it all day at work. You fight with your coworkers. You tell them how much more you know than them. Put that to work. Mybookie.ag. Put your money where your mouth is. Win. Take your money home. Go buy some Christmas presents. And you know what? You'll be a hero. So mybookie.ag. Use promo code Saturday. Noah, cannot thank our loyal listeners. Cannot thank the people from our group, which is definitely the Patrick Mahomes fans Facebook group, which is where this podcast really is geared towards. Not only that, but our sponsors, Noble Apparel. We're so pleased to welcome them onto the show this week and for the next several weeks, hopefully up until the Super Bowl. But our friends at Noble Apparel, now 5 locations in the Kansas City area, man. And you heard it in the commercial. We are so glad to have and be working with Noble Apparel, because if you're holiday shopping this Christmas season, find one of those locations, man, because they've got it. They've got the licensed stuff. They've got specialty items. It's cheaper than anywhere you're going to find anywhere in the city. We believe in Noble Apparel, and we believe in them. Go to nobleapparel.weebly.com to their website and contact them. Find out where all those locations are. You've got them in the Northland. You've got them on the Kansas side. They're everywhere. Find them. So it's been a great partnership.
Absolutely. And a little Easter egg here. If you're listening all the way through this podcast and get to this part, the very end, we've got an Easter egg for you. We are teaming up with Noble Apparel this week. And after the Raiders game, on our Facebook page, Patrick Mahomes fans, go and join it. There's over 102,000 members. There's a lot of great content there. But specifically for this, we are teaming up with Noble Apparel after the Raiders game. Go to Patrick Mahomes fans. We're giving away 2 tickets to the Chiefs and Chargers game to end the season, Week 17, right here in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. That's going to be a big game. There could be a lot on the line with seating. So go there. We're giving away tickets, and you'll learn more after the Raiders game on how to enter and how to win.
No, that sounds like breaking news to me, and that's unbelievable because, yes, we are giving away a pair of tickets to the Chiefs and Chargers game. It's going to be a great Christmas present, great stocking stuffer. So I just want to thank everyone that listened to the end, which I know is thousands upon thousands of you have listened to the very end, hanging on our every word like you do every week on the PM15 podcast. So thanks for that. Can't wait to get that contest rolling out there. So in the meantime, if you're not a member of the Patrick Mahomes Fans Facebook group, you better go join it now because you're going to get in all the details courtesy of GASN Sports and Noble Apparel. Of course, GASNsports.com. That is our website. That's where everything that we do, all of our archives are there. All of our articles and thoughts are all there on GASNsports.com. Hope you'll hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or Spotify. Leave us a review. Definitely a 5-star one because we bring you 5-star thoughts and efforts and guests each and every week here. And we're going to be back next week with a big guest, Noah. Talk about unveiling free tickets to a Chiefs game. We're also going to be bringing on none other than the Robo QB himself, Todd Marinovich, next week. That's no lie. He's going to be here on this show next week. Cannot wait for that.